Look, it's time to admit the actual truth about RFK Jr., about Trump, and the others in the MAGA mayhem movement. If RFK Jr. was not wealthy and he was not a Kennedy, he would be homeless and living under a bridge. He's very genuinely an unhinged lunatic. He would have been involuntarily committed and treated with necessary medical interventions a long time ago, and not the least of which would have been to evaluate the level of brain damage he's accumulated from more than one source. The most fun cause we know of is the worm he got from eating exotic roadkill like whale heads and bears, and that he has personally said publicly out loud that this worm has eaten some of his brain and then died. The thing that I don't see anyone talking about is that even if this isn't completely true, it's still very bad. It means that there is some deep level of pathological delusion going on with this guy. He was also treated for mercury poisoning at one point, which is definitely a big concern when we're talking about things that can cause neurological and cognitive problems. Methylmercury bioaccumulates in the body and is found in predatory fish like tuna, shark, and swordfish, for instance, because they eat all the other things that have eaten all the other things and are full of mercury. So then RFK Jr. comes along and eats those things because he's apparently the only person alive who read The Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly and found it aspirational. At the time, he complained of serious memory problems and brain fog, but recently he's insisted, of course, that he doesn't have any lingering effects from any of this stuff. While he was running for president in the spring of 2024, he tweeted one of the most insane things a human being has ever said in the history of the known world. "I offered to eat 5 more brain worms and still beat President Trump and President Biden in a debate. I feel confident of the result even with a 6-worm handicap." We really are in the bad place. This is the bad place. I want to be clear that I'm not disparaging anyone when I say this next thing, but we have to address the fact that RFK Jr. is a heroin addict. Heroin causes a fun rush at first, which might be the reason that he once said in an interview that his heroin use made him super smart. And I quote, "I did very, very poorly in school until I started doing narcotics." He said after that, he went right to the top of his class. But what medical professionals say is that after that initial good stuff, heroin slows down your cognition. It lulls you into a mental fog and slows down your breathing to dangerously low levels, which can, you guessed it, cause brain damage. He just told people during an inspirational speech at a recovery center that finding purpose in his life was the spiritual awakening that turned things around for him. And I think I can safely speak for everyone at this point when I say that we all wish he hadn't found that purpose.